everyone, and welcome to the BrainYield podcast. I am your host, Vab, and this is
theGuy.
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 Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome, guys.
How's your week been, guy?
I've had a good one. What about you?
Well, I have been tapping into DeFi and institutional lending. I'm thinking it's a topic very cool. It's a topic that I'm thinking that we can get into maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
This institutional money has to get in here to pump some bags.
Yeah, right.
Today's episode, though, focuses on mental health and getting wrecked.
Okay.
A topic I think we can all relate to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my wallet looks pretty wrecked.
Yeah, so... Alright, so you had a quote by White Rabbit, was
Let's
it?
start off with White Rabbit. He is active on Twitter.
Okay.
So also shout out to you, White Rabbit.
Does he have a lot of followers? Should we plug his Twitter?
He has 130 something followers, but so what? We show love to everybody here at BrainYield.
Oh, okay.
Don't be hating White Rabbit.
No, I love White Rabbit.
Okay,
That's my boy.
August 4th, he tweets, I joke around a lot on here. I've been seeing many posts about depression and mental health. I lost some good people in my life to this. Mates, it is not worth it. If stocks, NFTs, and cryptos are bringing you into an unhealthy mindset, it's okay to take a loss and walk away.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, very well said.
I mean, how many of us, including myself, we didn't walk away. We still haven't walked away. We're strapped onto that roller coaster. And we're just getting wrecked daily.
You're strapped onto the roller coaster even though the ride ended.
Yeah.
You're still there. Like, you gotta go home.
There's a home to go back to because we lost it. Can you relate to that? I mean, I'm sure. You've been on this for like a decade.
I can definitely relate to taking loss, experiencing failure, or just having things not work out the way you planned. Definitely. That's just the life of an investor, life of a trader, life of an entrepreneur. That's what it is.
You know what? I think with crypto, it has something to do with the addiction personality. And it feeds onto your addiction. I mean, I'm not addictive. I don't have that addiction personality.
Well, we all have addictive traits.
But yeah, I was going to go, yeah.
Okay.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
No, nothing. Just like that, everybody has some addictive trait. You know? You might think you're not addicted, but if you drink coffee every day, you're addicted to that. If you eat, I don't know.
If you're sugar.
Right.
Anything.
Sure.
You become addicted.
You can be addicted to many, many things.
Yeah. But with crypto, I think it's two things to this. Addiction and gambling. Because Uniswap became the casino.
Right.
And if you ever go to the casino, you see this play out in the slot machines. When you bet a quarter and you somehow make it into like 1,000x, you put that quarter in and then you make $2,500.
Right.
And then you keep on playing, and then the 2,500 becomes 2,500, then you're back to that quarter, and you're like, oh man, like let me just keep on pumping quarters in. And hey man, it's been a few hours. I think it's time for you to go home.
Yeah.
And you go home. But with crypto, you don't have to go to the casino. You just the casino's on your phone.
The casino is your home.
The casino's your the casino is your home.
Right.
And then you have also
but also like I don't want to associate crypto with gambling or casinos either.
No.
It's not that crypto's a casino or that everybody involved in crypto is a gambler.
Yeah.
It's just that it's easy for people to experience it that way, especially at the beginning.
Yeah. But you know what? I know that you play poker. I myself play poker.
Yeah.
You've been to casinos. I find the poker room to be the experienced traders, the blue chips. I find the slot machines in crypto to be all the shit coins.
Well,
and a lot of us were in the slots.
Yeah, I mean, you also have degenerate gambling going on in poker at the poker table. It's just about like the participant. Degenerate gambler in a casino plays all the games.
Yeah.
They play poker, they'll play blackjack, they'll hit the roulette table, they'll hit the slot machines. But there is the difference between a professional gambler, somebody that makes a living doing that, and investing in a way you could say is professional gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's risk management. You're making bets and then managing the outcomes.
Yeah.
With a set of rules or whatever. But the difference is that just a degenerate gambler has no rules, has no plan, has no edge, and they are just playing the lottery. They're gambling.
Do you think though it's
whereas like a professional has all those tools in his tool belt and can use it to extract whatever the profit is they're looking out of the market. Or in the case of a gambler in a casino, out of the house.
Do you think also it makes it's more dangerous? I feel in crypto because there's a thing called leverage trading.
Yeah.
And many people dab into leverage trading, not even knowing anything about technical analysis, about charts, about nothing, and they just dived into this, betting on things that they had no idea.
Yeah. Well, the way that I think about leverage is just that leverage is just a tool. It's a financial instrument that professional money managers use to manage money, mostly for hedging, actually.
Yeah.
Not even for taking directional bets and like risking, but actually reducing risk. Like leverage is used by money managers to reduce risk. But when you put like such a tool, such a powerful tool in the hands of the uninitiated, in the hands of a rookie, in the hands of a gambler, in the hands of a degen, it turns into a very dangerous weapon. Could cause self-harm. So
you have leverage trading. You have 24/7 Uniswap. Shitcoins pumping every minute.
Yeah.
It's just a recipe. It's just nonstop.
It's a casino like no other.
I want to say I found a survey done February 2022 this year.
Yeah.
CNBC. They asked 750 crypto investors, and they basically said that a third actually knew very little about what they were investing in. They were just like, they would follow callers on crypto Twitter and they will say, hey, bet on this. And then they will just trade on it.
Right.
So you have that 24/7 slot. You have access to leverage trading.
Yeah, it's also 24/7 market.
24/7 market.
It's like a casino that never closes too.
Never closes.
So, I mean, you can imagine like, some of the side effects of this is like sleep deprivation. Also, like you're probably not eating right. You have nutritional issues because you're locked in because it never closes.
And also,
nobody ever comes and tells you, "Sir, you need to go home."
Ma'am, I'm home because you are home.
You are home. Yeah.
Not only that, I'm thinking also perhaps how many people abuse drugs during this to stay up.
Oh, that too. Oh, that's another issue. Yeah. It's a substance abuse. Either to cope with, like, the loss or to enhance, like, your ability to continue participating, staying up late, not resting,
So with all of this in mind, I looked at what happened in November. For those of you who just got into crypto, who just got into Bitcoin, welcome, by the way. And let me share with you what happened in November, just in case you don't know. I think you do, though. November, Bitcoin hits $69,000. But sadly, it dropped to over 40% within a few months. When I looked at the top in November and I started looking at this chart, just everything crashing. My wallet looks depressing, but I'm looking at how we're all getting mentally wrecked completely. And by the way, you called the top in November.
I did. I did. I mean, it wasn't just me that did that. There were many people in the market on Twitter and YouTube and other mediums sounding those alarm bells at that time when the market started rolling over. And, more experienced people, they were able to anticipate that.
Yeah, I remember you calling me, telling me, hey, Vab, it's time. And I was
it had been 2 years. Yeah. Like, it was, at that point, by the time that the Bitcoin double top happened, the cryptocurrency market had been on a 2 year just upward run, 24 months straight of gains.
I think for many of us, we were saying, no, there's
so
no
depending
way.
on what time, depending, you as a participant, at what time you come in during that timeline, you're coming in at different stages of this thing. You know, if you came in, the people that were in from the very beginning, they did better than others because their gains were obviously larger and it was easier for them to take profit. People that coming in at the tail end of it are hoping to get those massive gains. Yeah, and you know, and when they don't, they begin making all the bad decisions that snowball into getting wrecked.
Yeah, and I got the call.
But it's an issue of like when you come into what phase of the cycle are you coming in?
Well, many of us came in November. Well, the ones who did come in November.
What happens is that the majority of participants don't really come in until it's mature. Yeah. Because it's just psychological. Like right now, for example, right now is a great time to buy crypto. I mean,
no one's talking about it.
But nobody's buying crypto, right? Nobody wants to. Everybody's afraid. Fear is dominating the market and keeping people away from making the sound decision of like accumulating at this moment in time when it's the best time. And people are going to wait until the market recovers, and they're going to wait until an uptrend is formed. But by then, you're not coming in at the ideal time. You're coming in at a later stage where the amount of gains that are left are limited. Yeah. And the amount of time that is left of bullishness in the market is also limited, and that plays a huge role.
You know, looking back, I remember in November, man, crypto was everywhere. I remember Yahoo News, CNBC. My auntie was talking about crypto. Yeah. There's a thing in marketing, which I'm going to use it now as my next top. That's how I know it's the next top strategy. There's a thing in marketing that says,
"Tell me your secrets."
The right term, but it takes seven contacts for you to make a purchase. So if you see it on the train, the ad, if you hear it on the news,
you
if
have to have 7 points of exposure
to finally make that purchase.
Right. On average.
Yeah, on average.
On average. Right.
I think actually now it's 10 because you're bombarded with so much.
Okay, yeah.
In November, I remember hearing and seeing crypto everywhere. And I should have said, you know what, it is the top. But everybody on YouTube called a 6-figure Bitcoin.
There's also herd mentality in markets. Yeah. I understand that as well. One of the things that you need to develop to do well in markets is the ability to be a contrarian. To spot the moment in time when most people are leaning one way. Yeah. And you should be doing the opposite. And it's difficult because it goes against the human natural instinct of following the herd. Yeah. We're pack animals. And, we feel comfortable in herds. We feel comfortable following large groups, and we are out of a comfort zone when we leave the herd. When we do something different from the rest of the social group. But in investing, it's absolutely critical to be able to do that.
It is difficult because you're just that odd person, and especially when you are involved in these crypto communities of these projects which you invest in. Diamond Hand, HODL, don't sell, don't listen to them, hold. And what happens? You're left holding, and if you're still holding, and you right now are in August, you've been holding your bags for over a year. Yeah, it doesn't feel right now to be holding. Yeah, because again, you follow that crowd, and the right way of doing it is like what the guy said. Just go the opposite way always. Right now, as you said, it's time to buy.
Like, just right now is a perfect example. You have the majority of people afraid to invest, but it's actually the best time to do so. This is a time to be a contrarian. Yeah. So now let's go into something that I'm seeing a lot of in crypto communities, in Telegram and social media. And what's that?
I'm seeing a lot of people post things on depression and suicide. The Celsius and Luna debacle, oh man. I went into Telegram during that time and to certain groups, and a lot of people were talking about how they wanted to end their life because a lot of their savings was tied there. Right. They lost everything basically. Yeah. And also if they had a spouse, they didn't tell their spouse. They didn't know how to tell their spouse. Yeah. Then there were stories, of course, from the media of people that have committed suicide, that jumped off bridges because they lost everything. And then it hit home when one of the chats, the mods pinned a suicide hotline number and website because there were so many comments. Then back in June, 2 months ago, as a mod of some groups, I started getting...
You started getting like private messages?
I started getting private messages. Hey, Vab, I invested in this project. What's going on? I feel depressed. I feel hopeless. I've had thoughts of suicide. And I myself...
What did you tell them? How did you respond to those messages?
I basically told them, this is not the end. This is not the end of your life. I cannot guarantee that you're going to make back your money.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that this is not the end for you. So just stay with me. And I would check up on them. I would check up on them daily. And then some of them would just not write back. And hopefully you're still there.
Hopefully.
Man, this is just such a fucking crazy world.
Yeah. What, crypto?
Yeah, this is but I love it. Yeah. So I became emotionally, I guess, attached to some of these groups. And I worry a lot because a lot of these communities, I haven't looked at the numbers and the figures, but I would say it's men between the ages of 20, late 40s, a good number.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a few weeks ago there was this wrestler. His name is Patty. Mm-hmm. He's a mixed martial arts fighter.
I don't know Patty, but...
Well, he won. And at the end, he gave a speech about mental health. And one of his friends actually had just committed suicide.
Oh.
And he says something...
Because of crypto or...
No.
Okay.
Mental health.
All right.
He goes into, and I quote, mental health is the biggest killer of men aged 21 through 45.
Yeah.
So,
actually, I saw something...
Yeah?
That some sort of government agency did a study recently that there's been an increase, like a 50% increase in deaths for people aged like 18 to 40. I don't know if it's mental health related or not, but it might be.
Yeah, mental health is really a big issue right now.
And it's also larger than just crypto. We also have a lot of societal stuff going on.
Yeah, that would be a whole...
That's a whole other
and
thing.
Actually an entire podcast within itself.
Yeah.
But
you were saying?
So I want to go into our stories of getting wrecked. And maybe that will help out somebody out there who's listening. Because we are still here. And we're optimistic. And we keep grinding.
Yeah.
And this is a long journey for us.
Yeah. Oh, it's a never-ending journey.
So let's... You, the OG,
the
man here with the decade experience.
Well, I started investing and trading in 2008, and it was like literally like a trial by fire, because when I started getting into markets, it was a market crash.
Yeah,
I got into markets when the market crashed, and I experienced those first 7 years of investing and trading was all just a up and down roller coaster. I had success, but also failure. And just learning how to develop the skill sets required. Which is mostly just patience and discipline, a stoic attitude. If you're familiar with stoicism, it's a philosophy of denying yourself pleasure and comfort in order to be able to mentally deal with the realities of the world, the harsh realities of the world.
When you say that, I picture a man beating himself with a whip.
Like self-flagellating.
Pa, pa.
Yeah. No, it's not quite like self-flagellation, You don't have to take it that far. But it's just, prepping yourself before engaging.
Yeah.
For the real possibility of failure and having a plan for dealing with it. So you're not caught like by surprise. And you don't get into like a death spiral of bad decision making, that ends up with you losing everything.
Yeah.
But the way to achieve that is by me being mentally prepared and practicing stoicism. Anyway, so that those first years in markets, there was a lot of ups and downs, lots of failures. I lost my life savings many times, but I never gave up. I never quit.
If I dared to ask, how many times did you lose your life savings?
Oh, I mean, more than 5, less than 10.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. And every time I did it, it was like I had no one to blame but myself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. I mean, I could blame the market all I want. I could blame my friends and family. I could blame all sorts of things. I could blame all sorts of things. But it's really just my fault.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't taking it seriously. I wasn't taking it seriously. I wasn't taking it the way that you should. I was risking too much. I was not maintaining discipline.
Yeah.
I was not following my own plans, or sometimes not making plans. And again, the market's going to strip you naked and show you every single fault of yourself. That's what the market does. And it's up to you to rectify all those things. But yeah, definitely one of the worst, not one of the worst, but just the one that stands out to me the most as far as getting wrecked. And it was not even the worst failure that I have experienced, because to me the worst failures that I've experienced in markets is when I lost all my savings. And that happened early on. You know, there was a point after like 2013. I started in 2008. But after like 2013, 2014, at that point I got to the point where I never ever again like lost all my savings by being in the market, ever, because I had learned enough. Like I had gotten burned enough to know that you don't do that. Yeah. And what is it that you need to do in order for that not to happen to you? And I started implementing those things. But the one that stands out for me is the 2021, like spring 2021, like when Bitcoin broke 60,000 for the first time, and we were like in the middle of the bull market, and I personally was doing extremely well. I was in heavy profit, and I knew that the bull market wasn't over. I was very confident about that. And because of that overconfidence, I made the mistake of not following my own rules and my own investment plans. I didn't take enough and didn't take any profit at all during that run-up. So that when China banned the Bitcoin mining and the market tanked overnight, and surprised everyone, I panicked. And in that panic, I made mistakes that snowballed into a 7-figure loss. And while it didn't take me out of the game, it stripped you naked. It stripped me naked one more time. Even though I've been doing that for like 10 years already and been profitable in the whole thing, but you never stop learning in markets. And if you think that you know more than the market at any moment in time, or you think you're better than the market, or that you don't have to follow rules or something, like you're about to get taught a real lesson. You're just on your way to get taught a lesson at that point. So for me, that's the most recent one. But I'm very thankful for it, because the lessons that I learned over that summer of 2021 allowed me to do very well in the market since then. So I'm glad that, and I'm sure I'm going to have other experiences. It's never ending. The market is a never ending journey of learning about yourself. Yeah. So I'm sure that there'll be other revelations like that.
The market revealed to you that the greed inside of you hadn't left yet.
Yeah. Well, the market revealed to me that, I was not just greedy, but also overconfident. Yeah. It's just my ego. It's like in Top Gun. Like, I don't know if you've seen Top Gun. No. But there's a line that the guy goes to Tom Cruise, like his commanding officer's like, you know what, Maverick? Like, your ego's writing checks your body can't cash. That's a good one. And that's what I was doing. Yeah.
Your body's writing checks.
My ego. My ego was writing checks that my body can't cash, and that never ends well. Yeah. 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 So that's like the one that stands out the most, because it was like a big lesson for me, because it wasn't the hardest. That was not the hardest experience of losing or having failure in the market for me. Those, again, like I said, those came earlier in my career. But it was one that, like, I thought I was over that already. I thought I had already overcome those things. Yeah. And then the market taught me, again, a 7-figure lesson in that, hey, man, you can never take your eye off the ball. You take your eye off the ball, even just for a second, I'll take all your money from you. Yeah. Don't forget it.
The market is an unforgiving beast.
Oh, yeah. The market doesn't give a fuck about any of us, okay? Yeah. All right. Yeah, so that's my story.
And you know what? Sadly, a good chunk of investors in crypto is retail. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the market fucked with retail pretty hard.
But it's not about like retail or not retail. Yeah. I mean, look at these guys from 3 Arrows Capital. They used to put, they were like smart money, like those guys were not retail at all, and look at them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those guys probably can't even pay their rent right now.
No.
And they wrecked so many people as well. Like, it wasn't just them. Like, they took a bunch of people down with them too.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So, I read somewhere that a 7-figure loss is actually greed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So this is one greedy bunch here at BrainYield.
Yeah.
Because the guy had a 7-figure loss, and I myself also had a 7-figure loss right now in the markets. And it happened to me just like maybe a good number of you. I invested in some projects last year, in some out projects. I started off with like $800, I want to say. And I saw those $800 balloon into an amount that I never thought possible. And back in November, I actually took a screenshot of this because in my mind I was like, in the event that I get hacked or this just disappears, I want to have proof that I made 7 figures in the market. And I actually have a picture.
Yeah. Do you have it like on your desk? Or?
I have it on my phone. I have it on my phone, and at the top, I had
like next to your baby pictures. And like,
you're such an asshole, man.
I'm sorry.
You're such an asshole, dude.
I had
at the top, it was like 1.8 million.
Nice.
At the top, 1.8 million. And a week later is when you called me, and you're like, "Hey, man, cash out."
Yeah, and I remember that conversation.
And you even told me, you know what? Don't cash out the whole thing.
I even told you.
Yeah.
You don't have to take the entire profit. Just take a partial profit. Who cares? If you're right, I remember what I said to you, I was like, if you're correct, and this project is gonna like 10x from here, then you're still gonna make a ton of money.
You told me that.
You're still gonna make a ton of money. So what's the issue?
I told you, I was like, no, you're gonna see that. Because Bitcoin hadn't hit 6 figures, and everybody and their mama was saying that. That messed everybody up. That fucked me up.
That really fucked everyone up.
So I'm like, no, the Kaisers are saying it, like...
Yeah, everybody's saying it.
Like Snoop Dogg is
everybody.
Like, so...
No, there was nobody in the market that didn't think at the beginning of the 2021 like bull run that wasn't confident that Bitcoin would hit 6 figures. There was almost no one. There was no analyst. Yeah. There was no hedge fund. There was no investor. There was no one that didn't think that at the start. So
I had 1.8 million in my wallet.
Yeah.
And then I was heavily involved in these communities that tell you, hold, diamond hand, hold, diamond hand. It's like, and they're like cults, by the way. So I'm holding my bags.
It's like gangs, like gang mentality.
Come on, just don't sell, don't worry. We're gonna 10x. And I'm like, man, if I can just 3x the 1.8 million, I'm done.
Yeah.
And you know what? Looking back, I was already done. 1.8 million from $800.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You were done.
I was done.
You had
but
done
I was like, no, I'm gonna open up like a resort property. No way. I'm gonna do a school. I'm gonna give my mama this money. I'm gonna give my friends this.
Yeah.
No way. I'm gonna win. My whole village wins.
Yeah.
Nobody's winning right now, by the way.
Yeah.
So I lost it. And when I lost, I walked out with 5 figures in a Bitcoin. So it was, again, I did pretty good, but still, the
because your initial investment was just like $800.
Yeah.
So you took $800 and ballooned it to $1.8 million.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous.
And in that moment, you did not realize like the position that you were in.
No. Yeah.
Right? But you still did great, though. You still came out with many, many multiples of that original investment. But it which is the objective.
But it was my first time getting wrecked. I haven't been in this for a decade. I've been just buying Bitcoin and holding. So this is a whole experience for me.
Yeah.
So with that experience comes insomnia.
It's just like this was your first go at actively trading.
No, with this experience comes insomnia. Even to this day, I'm replaying everything over and over again.
Mm.
And one of the things I worry about, and we have talked about, is, I entered this and I ballooned this because I come with no experience, with nothing.
Right. Well, we talked about how your lack of experience was, and your lack of knowledge was one of the things that allowed for the return to balloon to that level. And because other more experienced investors would have taken profits a little
Yes.
earlier, or at least partial. And yeah, you don't make as much, sure, but you make more doing that.
You do.
Than allowing the investment just to go up, until it reaches some magical number.
Yeah. So now my fear is mentally that's keeping me up at night is because I have these scars now. It's not about would I be able to identify another cocktail bar, another Flocky, another
Sure.
A, B, C, and D is will I have the courage to hold to see those numbers again? I don't know, and that keeps me up at night, and that messes with my mental health.
Yeah.
So let's go into tips. I'm gonna just give one tip that I learned,
All right.
and that hopefully the audience can take with them for the next bull run. Do not tell, and this is kind of weird, but I feel this is important. Do not tell your loved ones what to invest in as well.
Very important.
Because you're dealing with your own bag,
Right.
but when you're dealing with the phone calls of your mom,
Right.
of your aunt, of A, B, C, and D,
You have to
that's
try to
gonna-
contain the Rektness to just yourself,
yeah.
and not like pass it on to others if you can.
Because if you told the whole village, guess what? Sundays
Yeah.
is gonna be empty. Mama's not gonna call you no more.
Yeah, because we're also
Yeah.
we also want to hear in crypto, what we also want to do is get other people in, because there's a lot of, crypto is not just about making money. Crypto can make the world a much better place.
Yeah.
It can really enhance our freedoms
Yeah.
and make the world a fairer place, more equal, more equality for everyone. Crypto has these powers. So we want people to come in and use like decentralized finance and save in Bitcoin, understand what hard money is, understand like how the financial system works, and get into like the social revolution aspects of this. You don't want to scare people away, which you will if you are like shilling them like very risky, investment opportunities that blow up in their face. Doing that is just delaying the adoption process.
Instead,
it's wonderful technology.
And instead of telling them what to invest in with their money, tell them, hey, you know what? Just instead of that, why don't I recommend to you books for you to educate yourself?
Nobody wants to read books, Fab.
No,
okay?
I know, but you know what? Just okay, if not books, podcasts,
sure,
YouTube,
right?
But don't tell them what to put their money on, because if not, it's gonna mess with you even more. That's all I'm saying. Don't tell them what to invest in, but tell them, look, I'm not gonna go there. But if you want to learn about this, so that you can make your own financial decisions, here you go. Here's my list. What's your tip?
I would say that, to me, the most important thing about investing, trading, is to understand that it's mostly about psychology. It's mostly about success comes when you are able to manage your emotions and keep to a discipline, keep to a plan, practice a stoic, have a stoic approach to what you're doing. And I'd say, a little tip that I would give that helped me was to understand that the profits are not yours until you remove them from exposure to the market.
Yes.
So
yes.
Let's just say you went on Uniswap, you bought something, you put in $500, it 100x'd on you. Now you're sitting on a $50,000 profit in your wallet, and you might think that money's yours. You might think that, oh wow, like now I'm the owner of like $50,000. If I look at it's in my wallet, but it's not yours, because if your intention is to put that money back into the market from that wallet, going back to Uniswap and continuing to put it at risk, it's not yours. It's not yours until you completely remove it from any type of risk whatsoever. Yeah. That doesn't mean you have to put it in the bank. In fact, like you shouldn't put it in the bank because that's risky. But you should not put it back into. It's not yours until you 100% know that it's not going to be put at risk again. Maybe you bought a house with it, or took a vacation with it, or just put it in cold storage,
or cover your life expenses for like a year,
or cover your life expenses for a year, or all these things where you do realize where you realize the profit, right? And, because until then, it's just unrealized gain, and it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the market. And the market will take it from you. And you're going to then suffer. Then what happens with that is that, like, then you have, like, it comes with an emotional toll, and it causes mental stress, because now you feel like you lost money. Like, you had those 50,000, and then you went back and kept trading.
Yeah.
And now you're like down 50%, and you feel like you lost $25,000. But a trick that helps me is to just think of it that, like, well, that was never my money.
Yeah.
I never had $25,000. That's not mine.
Yeah.
That belonged to the market. I never took it out. I never realized that profit. And that helps, because what happens is that when you don't do that, it just, the mental stress, like, causes a snowball effect of bad decision making.
You go on tilt.
Yeah. Yeah, like in poker, it's called going on tilt. And it just ends in, like, just getting wrecked. It always ends the same. So that's my tip. Just don't remember the money's not yours until you can actually, until you're using it for something other than continuing to take risk.
Before we go, I want to say, if anybody out there is going through any type of depression, suicide thoughts, we are on Twitter. Feel free to send us a message. I will reply. The guy will reply. We're here for you, Degens.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, money is not...
Yeah.
It's not the important thing.
Have a great week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.